All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to this session of the US Real Estate Investor Network. We're glad to have you here on this Wednesday night live. Glad to have everybody from across the country. And we actually have some international investors that tune in on a regular basis. If you're watching the replay, hey, feel free to type in the chat roll where you're from, where it's home. If you're here live, tell me what city you're joining us from across the United States. We've got people, I think, literally in about 20 different states RSVP for tonight when I was looking at the registration list, but we're excited to have everybody here. Don't care if you're seasoned, been doing it for years, or you're brand new. We are honored to have you. All right. And guys and gals out there, welcome again. Thank you for being here. Our focus and philosophy here at the US REI Network is in providing a space for investors to find and promote deals, raise capital, and grow as investors. We want to treat everyone with respect, treat your fellow investor with respect, treat the fellow speakers with respect. We want you to here to provide resources across the country for everybody. And each week, we usually will feature a vendor and a subject matter expert in a variety of different subjects throughout the year. It's been an amazing ride. It's hard to believe we're in our third or fourth month and already over 300 RSVPs for this on a pretty regular basis. So excited to have each and everybody here. Glad to have you. I see somebody, Barika. Hey, Barika from Wills Point, Texas. Glad to have you here tonight as well. A little about me, if you guys don't know who I am. My name is Scott Carson. I've been an active real estate investor for over 20 years now. Wow, hard to believe that. CEO of WeCloseNotes.com. I'm also the focus primarily on buying distressed debt. I'm the host of the popular podcast, the Note Closure Show, Note Camp, and Note Night in America podcast. Note Night in America is our Monday night webinar that we've been doing for 11 years now. You can always go to Note Night in America to register for that, where we focus on our main niche of buying distressed debt. But US REI Network here is general real estate investing in a variety of ways. I was the Educator of the Year in 2014 and an Investor of the Year finalist in 2018. But anyway, we need your help. If you're joining us for the first time or second time or watching the replays here, we need your help. Invite others. Share your haves and wants live. We want you to share what you're looking for. Plus, we also want you to share and network with others with what you got going on in the different groups, okay? We want you to share deals that you own or have under contract. None of this stuff where you might have a money partner or you might have a deal. We want you to have it under contract or an option agreement before you share it. Feel free to share your LinkedIn URL, not only just in the Zoom chat, but also in the LinkedIn, the Facebook, the meetup groups. And always check out the US REI Network website at usreinetwork.com. And then, of course, there's the links to the meetup groups, Facebook groups, and LinkedIn groups, whichever platform you prefer. There's a group there across the board. Let's give you a bit of an outline of tonight. It's pretty simple. Introduction to expectations. We'll have haves and wants. If folks have some haves and wants, we'll talk about the featured deal of the week. Then we'll dive into vendor spotlight if we've got one. And then we'll dive into the main subject matter. If we've got some time, we'll leave some time afterwards for online networking and get rocking and rolling. So, want to open up for you, any of you out there that have some haves and wants. For those of you that have a deal that you're working on or you need some stuff, if you've got a deal to sell or flip or funding to provide, like I said, must have it under contract. If you're looking for a deal, a vendor, or funding, hey, I'm looking for single family homes, or I'm looking for rentals, or I'm looking for an attorney, or I'm looking for a hard money source, or I'm looking for a title company, whatever it might be, feel free to type it in the chat roll and be specific. Look, share, if you've got deal specifics, feel free to share them ahead of time. You can email me at scott@weclosenotes.com. Type in your contact information, Zoom if you want to share it with everybody else that's out there. Also, guys, please, one of the biggest things underutilized is the groups, the Facebook groups for you to post. It's not just one spot. It's all three of those that you can post in and really share your deal or your funding across the country. And like I said, treat others with the golden rule. Rudeness will not be tolerated. So I want to put it out there for haves and wants. I'll start off tonight. I've got a couple of deals. Actually, we're looking for some private investors on. We've got a couple non-performing contract for deeds that we're working through. With funding amounts starting in the 25K to 50K amount. We got about a dozen deals that we're working on right now that we're starting the eviction foreclosure process. We've already taken these down, but looking for somebody to come and help us cash out some of our funds so we can go out and double down and buy some more deals. We're willing to offer up an 8% return on investment for a 12 to 24 month period. If you're interested, please reach out to me at scott@weclosenotes.com and we can share you specifics of the deals that we're working on. Anybody else have some haves and wants they're looking for tonight that they're struggling with? They need a deal. What are you guys looking for in your markets? What do you need? What do you have that you're looking to sell? What are you closing on? One of the things that we want to focus on here, and I just want to plant the seed here. We will not meet next Wednesday night because of it being the night before Thanksgiving. We'll just let you guys have time with your family and friends, but we will meet the week after Thanksgiving, and then we'll meet the first 2 weeks of December before we call it an end. And I would love to have you guys have the last one just be a pure deals closed this year. Talk about the deals you've closed this year. Come on, share case studies and help wrap up the year of 2021 and kick off 2022 in a good start. Anybody else have any have and wants? Want to raise their hand? Say, hey, I need this, I need that. All right. Give you guys the opportunity. All right. Well, we'll dive into the featured deal of the week here for you guys. This is a deal that we are interested in selling. Actually, this is a duplex in Springfield, Ohio. Actually, not Illinois, Springfield, Ohio. It's a non-performing contract for deeds, now vacant. There is some construction going on. Borrower has not paid loan law. Fair market value of about $52K. It rents both sides for about $700 a month each side, so $1,400 is the median price there. The borrower has an unpaid balance of $35,500. They owe over $45, I believe. I forgot to pull the payoff on it. We're looking to sell this at $25K. Like I said, currently under rehab. If you're interested, drop me an email at scott@weclosenotes.com. I'd like to send the address to you. Any other information that I can provide for it. But we do have the full collateral file. We do have the right to foreclose on this. We've been working with the borrower on this stuff. Didn't make payments through COVID and has gone non-responsive. We thought we had a loan mod with the guy, reinstated, and then he's just gone quiet. So I'm tired of screwing around with the guy. So it's a nice looking duplex in Springfield, Ohio. That photo is actually one that I took. We drove by this asset a couple of years ago when it was performing, and pretty excited about it. So it's a pretty good deal for somebody. If somebody doesn't make an offer, we'll finish the foreclosure and sell it as an REO and go from there. Like I said, if you're interested in adding a duplex to your portfolio, drop me an email at scott@weclosenotes.com. Right, we will move on there. So if you'd like to have your deal featured, if you got a deal that you're looking for funding or a deal case that you want to talk about to share across our network of investors, feel free. Email me the deal specifics, photos, story, what's going on with the deal to my email address at scott@weclosenotes.com. We'll put together a slide or two together and bring you on to tell the story and help you pitch your deal, whether you're looking for funding or you're looking to raise capital or looking to sell it. It's a great idea for you. And there is no cost to you. And so it's an opportunity for you to be featured in front of thousands of people, not just live here, but also our US REI Network video replays get a lot of play, not only on YouTube afterwards, but also we restream these to Facebook and to LinkedIn Live and a variety of other sources. So each video gets a couple thousand views across multiple places. And of course, we do share the audio to our radio network as well. But feel free, you've got a deal scheduled, call to talk with me at talkwithscottcarson.com. And guys and gals, if you want to talk real estate or talk notes or whatever, talk about what you're struggling with, feel free. Go to talkwithscottcarson.com. It'll allow you to schedule a time in my calendar and what's available. So any questions, comments, concerns before we dive into the main topic tonight? I know some of you are going to really love tonight's topic. And if you hang around, we might just have a little bit of a surprise for you. For those that are here live, I've got a very special surprise that I think many of you will love. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. It's up to you. Gotta hang around. But anyway, let's dive into the main content. Finding investors to fund deals. This is one question I get all the time from investors that we're talking about, whether it's in person, at meetup groups, speaking across the country, webinars, or people calling in and ask me questions. Is how do we find investors to fund deals? Especially if you're new to real estate investing, you're coming out of corporate America, you're not sure how to get investors, not sure what to say or how to approach investors. And I'm gonna tell you right now, real estate investing is not a sprint. It is a marathon of peaks and valleys, wins and losses, and a constant learning curve. It takes time to learn some of these things. You're not going to raise $1 million overnight, but you are all capable of raising $1 million in the next 90 to 120 days. That is true. You're all capable of raising $1 million if you'll do some of the things that we talk about and some things we'll talk about tonight. Let's first of all, before you have a deal to find an investor, how do you find investors? It's really a variety of different ways. You can go to Facebook groups. You can jump on LinkedIn and type in real estate investors. You can type in self-directed IRA investors. You can network at meetup groups or real estate clubs. You can go to conferences and talk with other investors there. You can jump on Bigger Pockets or Connected Investor and jump in conversations or private message people. You can go to one of my favorites, going to self-directed IRA events or conferences as well to find people that have money looking to put it to work. And there's other places investors hang out. Like I've had friends that have bought stuff, bid on silent auctions just to join a country club, to go join a country club. You know, we joined the UT club for a while to network with other investors. You know, you join your country club, you join your HOA, you know, you go hang out at football games, you network in the luxury suite, stuff like that, whatever it might be. There's a lot of different places that you connect with people that are investors. People are always looking to make things happen. And what you have to realize, ladies and gentlemen, is everyone is a buyer, everyone is a seller, and everyone is a funding source. And either one or all three of those, one, two, or three of them, everybody is a funding source at some point. And it may not just be them, it may be their family, their friends, or somebody else they have or in the future. And the idea is that you're planting seeds, you're out talking with people. You can't be a secret agent in real estate and succeed. I had a podcast interview with a guy from Paul Copot from the REI branded podcast. He talked about that. Too many investors, they are either in the corporate world and they're dabbling as a real estate investor. They don't want to share what they're doing. They're scared their boss is going to find out, or their spouse. And they're just scared and they don't want to share it. Well, it's hard for people to know what the heck you're doing if you're never going to open and flap your gums and tell them about it, right? So that's why it's so important for you to share with what you're going on and get out and network in a variety of places, okay? And so we've got a 5-step approach, kind of. We connect with them, we qualify them, we share. You can share your pitch or offering. Sometimes number 2 will be number 3, or number 3 will be number 2. It all depends on how you meet them, whether you meet them in person or you're meeting them after you've marketed to them, okay? The whole idea is number 4 is to get them to start saying yes to a variety of things. And then 5, get them to the funding table. And the idea is once you have a system in place, you can rinse and repeat this very, very easily in a number of ways to make things happen. And a lot of times this kind of comes naturally. It can come, well, maybe it doesn't come naturally, but once you get in the whole aspect of doing these things on a regular basis with your traditional day in, day out marketing for your business, it doesn't, people often find that it's not hard to raise capital. It's a matter of just what are you saying and what are you selling. So, but before you start, you need to have some things set up, or at least kind of outlined in the process of putting in place. It's a different market than it was a decade ago. It's a total different market than it was 20 years ago. It's the, digital media. You're in marketing these days. We're all in the media business. And so you've got to put some things together so you look the part, you smell the part. Okay. Some of you, we've had some people on before that have asked me questions and he's like, I can't raise any capital. I said, well, that's because you look like you're homeless. You just look, your appearance isn't popular, or you don't have a business card, or you don't have a website, or you just don't look like you're in business. And you think about this, I hate to be direct, but that's how you guys are here for. You like my directness. You got to have some things in place, and you don't need to have experience. This is the one thing that I want to nip in the butt. Whether you've got experience or you've got other investors, you can use your own case studies of past and present. They don't all have to be specific fix and flips or wholesales or no deals. If you've pulled the trigger and got some stuff done, that's great. Or you can find other investors who have closed deals and use their cases to say, these are the types of deals that we're doing or looking to do. Works very, very well. Okay. You got to have a website of some sort, and you've got to have an about you section. Got to have an about you section in your website with your face. People often will put up a website with no personality to it. It's a logo. Here's our opt-in, and there's no personality. There's no faces behind the entity. That doesn't do good. Share a little about you. Share what you're going on. Put your smiling face out there. Put your business partners. Put your vendors. That all adds to your credibility that you're actually a person. And yes, you've got to have some online or social media presence. Now, I wouldn't necessarily worry too much about Facebook or Instagram or Twitter these days, but LinkedIn, especially in the real estate world, is the number one priority. You got to have a full LinkedIn profile because that's where people are going to go check you out. And what's great too, ladies and gentlemen, you may not have this immediately, but you're putting your about you, your vendors, some of your social media stuff, some of your case studies. It's pretty easy to put it into a pitch deck. And we've talked about before in some of our webinars. If you go to my YouTube channel, weclosenotes.com, or WeCloseNotes.tv or YouTube/WeCloseNotes, you'll find us talking about a pitch deck. Do a search for pitch deck in our videos. You'll see about an hour-long webinar we've done on a Monday night before, or a 15-minute cutout with my own pitch deck in there for you. Okay. You've got to have an executive summary and business cards, especially if you're out networking and meetup groups. And here's the thing, we'll get the business cards in a second. You got to have an entity. You got to be in business. If you're just doing a DBA, you're not really in business, no offense. You're really playing Russian roulette, not only with your deals and money, but with other people's money, because you're not having that asset protection in place that an entity can provide if you're doing well. And I highly encourage you, if you have not gone and watched the replay from Brett Brisquet from Laughlin Associates, it's well worth your time to go do that. Okay. You do not want to be a jack of all trades. I went to a meetup group one time in Orange County, and the lady hosting the event had 12 different things that she did. Oh, I'm a note investor. I'm a real estate investor. I'm a house cleaner. I also do this, this, and this. And her business card had like 7 things on it. I'm like, that's not professional. You want to brand yourself as the expert in one field. When people think about a realtor in your neighborhood, or an investor, or a fix and flip, or a landlord, whatever it might be, whatever your niche might be, you want them to think of you. And if you have multiple things you're doing, it confuses people more so than anything else. So do not be a jack of all trades. Now, here's the thing. If you're a realtor, it's okay to be a realtor and a real estate investor. If you're a mortgage broker, it's okay to be a mortgage broker and an investor. Those things go hand in hand. Or a realtor and a broker, or a realtor and a mortgage broker, those things kind of go hand in hand. If they go hand in hand, that's okay. It's also okay if you're have a full-time career in something else besides real estate and you're an investor on the side. That's fine. But when you start doing 3, 4, 5 things, it gets watered down really fast, and your marketing is ineffective because people don't always know what the heck you're doing. So yeah, put some of these things in place. We're not talking ideally perfect, like award-winning stuff. We're just talking about, hey, put a website together. It could be a 1-page lead page or a landing page of some sort. Get your LinkedIn profile up and rock it along. Understand what you're focused on and put together either a PowerPoint presentation or something that you can use as a pitch deck with your vendors and case studies to really show, hey, you actually know what the heck you're talking about. Okay. Now, the first thing when it comes to connecting to investors, it's kind of a twofold, whether how you do that. Well, you can either networking, and that's in-person networking. And that's a great thing to build rapport. Like I said, meetup, REI events, sharing your haves and wants, but going to a meetup group or an REI event, it's going to take about a 6-month process, especially if it's just once a month meeting. And if you're only going to that one meeting once a month, it's going to take a while of you showing up regularly for people to recognize you and start building rapport. If you go to conferences, you'll meet other people there, grab business card swap. The biggest thing you can do at a conference or an event is do not eat or sit alone. Go network with somebody, go grab lunch with somebody, go grab dinner, breakfast, grab coffee, whatever it might be. Okay. Just don't sit or eat alone. You've heard that book, Never Eat Alone. Great book to read. Now, when you go to an event, you're going to see a lot of vendors there, vendor booths. They've got flyers and info what they do. It might make sense for you to grab a vendor booth or pay to be a vendor at an event or a conference or meetup group. That way you have people coming by you automatically to see what you're doing, and you can grab their information, or they can grab your information, and it makes it much easier. Being a vendor is underrated. As a real estate investor, it's very underrated if you don't have a booth. Now, yes, we know contractors and other service providers understand this, but if you put up a sign that you're a professional fix and flipper, you've got deals, you're a wholesaler, or whatever it might be, get you a booth, pay the $500, whatever it might be, and put some deals together, put some flyers, some info on what you do, and make it a giveaway, a $50 gift card or something like that to get people's information. It's well worth it. And always networking in person. Your vendors often can be great resources for people that are lending money or know investors as well. Title companies, asking for referrals from them, from realtors, from other investors. Hey, I've got a deal, I'm looking for funding. Do you know anybody that might be interested or has some money they're looking to invest? Okay. Now, the opposite side is, I call it direct marketing, not just networking. It's the aspect of marketing for investors to find you. Now, you can do that with direct mail. This is the only direct mail that we do, is sending out to IRA investors, or you buy a list from Exact Data or Melissa Data. There's a variety of different list sources that you can buy but then you still got to send some information out to them. This is why we talk about the executive summary, your pitch deck, some of those other things, a website being important when you start networking. Videos. You guys know I love videos. Video works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 and 1/4 days a year for you. It's an advertising out there for you. And if you put your 15-minute pitch deck online on YouTube and you're sending it out and marketing to investors and people are watching it, you're going to have people that reach out to you and say, hey, I want to find out more information about what you're doing. Of course, you can always go on online connections like LinkedIn or Bigger Pockets and market to people directly. You know, you want to try to build rapport. Nobody likes those direct invites and say, hey, do you buy my service or thing like that? But the point is, start building rapport in those things. Say, hey, I saw that you posted that you had 50K you can invest. Here's a little bit about what I do, and maybe we should talk. Maybe it might be something you might be interested in. Okay. Of course, there's the old-fashioned email blast to your database. Hey, I got a newsletter that you send out monthly or weekly. Here's what we're working on this week, or here's what we closed on this last month. Those things do really, really well. Email is still the #1 return on investment when it comes to marketing out there. And what's sad is when we've done surveys, religiously, 50 to 60 to 70% of the audience hasn't sent an email in the last month to their list. And that's a bad, bad thing. Okay. You know, I would love to ask that tonight, but I don't want to be disappointed. You know, people, and this is another thing, people just don't know how to market sometimes, or they're scared to market. What do I say? Look, talk about your deals, talk about how you became an investor, talk about what you're focused on, talk about the markets. There's a whole variety of different things that we share on how we direct market to investors, whether it's in person or it's direct, like direct mail, or with our videos blast or our email blast. But you got to pick one. And oftentimes you're going to be doing both of these. And if you just rely on networking in person, it may take you a little bit longer to connect with people if you are only going to something once a month. Okay. Now, the most important thing is to qualify your investors. If you're actually meeting with people and talk with them at a meetup group or something like that, people have reached out to you and want to find out more information, you got to kind of qualify them. You know, what's their experience? This is one thing I always like to ask. What's your experience? Tell me what you've done. Tell me what you've invested in real estate before. How did that work out for you? What kind of returns did you make? How much are you looking to invest? Because this is an important thing. If you need 100 grand for a deal and somebody's got 5 grand, you don't necessarily want to waste your time going through a bunch of fivers. You want to go through people that have 50 grand, at least, usually maybe 25 if it's a very warm market. But find out how much they are looking to invest and what are their expectations. And expectations is what kind of returns they're looking for, how long are they comfortable tying it up, you know, how active they want to be. You know, the important thing you have to ask yourself and talk with them, are they going to be a pita? Now, pita doesn't mean like a pita bread. It means pain in the ass. What does pita mean? Are they going to be a pain in the ass? Are they going to ask you a million questions every week? Are they going to be looking at the property? They're going to, you know, you don't want pita investors, pita funders. You want people that have some experience that'll let you do your work, that you can communicate once a month or once a quarter and go from there. You want to make sure that their goals match with your opportunity. Last thing you want to do is like, hey, this is a 12-month deal, and their goal is 90 days. And after 90 days, they're like, oh, I got to get out, got to get out. Doesn't work that way. Or this is my only 15 grand. Oh, I didn't work as much this month, so I got to have some of my money back so I can pay my bills. Oh, I pulled money off a credit card to fund this deal, and now the credit card payments eat me alive. I only bring these up because these things happen. So make sure that their goals match up with your opportunity and what you're focused on. And I'm going to tell you right now, not everybody that reaches out to you is going to be a yes. Sometimes saying no might be saying yes to your sanity, ladies and gentlemen. We all know people that we probably shouldn't do business with. It just happens over time, and that's okay. Doesn't mean they can't be your friends. Doesn't mean that they can't in the future be a potential investor with you. But right now, sometimes you got to listen to your gut, and your gut is your sixth sense telling you, hey, this person's probably not. Even though you may need a deal funded and you're behind the 8 ball, hey, you want to, if you are even to do that, you got to have a clause in your contract that allows you to cash your pitas out. Okay. I call it the pain in the ass clause. If at some point we deem that this is not working, you're a pain in the ass, I have the right to cash you out at any time. Now, when it comes to sharing your pitch, this may be after, I mean, when you've met with somebody, it may come before qualifying. If you're doing stuff online, is in your pitch to investors, you got to keep it simple. It's the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. All right. You do not want to throw up on them and try to give them every bit of information on note investing. You don't want to teach a topic You want to keep your emails or keep your videos short and sweet. 15 minutes or under for a longer video, under 5 minutes for a case study. You just want to give them general specifics of the deal and go into it. You don't want a long ass video most of the time. Okay, because people honestly have about an 8-second attention span. If you can get people to watch a 2 to 3 minute video, that's great. Anything beyond that, you're doing great, but you got to keep that short and sweet attention span up. Okay, and you want to have a simple presentation. Simple. Don't make it complicated. Don't add video. Don't add audio to a PowerPoint presentation. Keep it simple. Slides. It's clean. It looks good. Don't have everything crammed on a page. You got to make it simple. There's some simple things. We believe in the 10, 20, 30 method. 10 slides equals 20 minutes of content. You want to make sure that your font's at 30-point font or greater, so it's easy to read, whether it's in the front of the room or the back of the room. And you only want to have about 5 points per slide, if even that. All right. You should not be reading your PowerPoint presentation or PowerPoint slides of your presentation. You should be looking at the audience or looking at a person eye to eye. And your presentation is meant to be bullet points, kind of like an index card is you use to give the high points to tell it. But your simple presentation should talk a little about you, the opportunity, your team, your vendors, and then the different case studies, the types of deals you're doing, or the deals that you're focused on doing. And the biggest thing at the very end, people get scared to ask for the sale. And it's simply a very simple sentence. Does this sound like something you'd be interested in? Does this interest you? Yes or no? What you have to realize when you're going through a presentation or talking to somebody, you have to shut up at some point and let them talk. Now, if they're asking you questions throughout, that's a good thing. But when you get to the end, you have to ask for that versus just saying, okay, these are types of deals that are doing great. It was great talking to you, and then run the hell out of the room. No, hey, these are the types of deals that we're doing. Does this sound something that would interest you? Does this sound like something you'd like to get involved with? Okay. Hey, we've got a couple of deals that we're working on here over the next couple of weeks. If you're interested, hey, I'd love to get you involved in 1 or 2 of these. And if you are, here are the next steps. Here's what we need to do next if you're interested in getting rock and roll with us. Okay. People will avoid that like the plague, or like somebody sick on COVID in the first week of the year. Okay. If you're interested, here are the next steps. Very simple, not meant to be aggressive. They say, no, I'm not interested. Great, no problem. What can I ask for the reason why? Is it something I did, or you don't like real estate? What is it? And then let them tell you, your presentation sucks. You suck. The deal sucks. I don't trust, whatever. The more you hear that stuff, the better you'll get at version 2, version 3, version 4. It's okay not to have a yes on your presentation. Okay. The idea here in any type of presentation, any type of reaching with investors, is to get them saying yes multiple times. Okay, it's the yes close, as we called it when I was at Verizon Wireless, and they taught us sales training. It's the yes close. Now, if you've met them somewhere else at a meetup group, at a networking event, conference, or something like that, or they've reached out to you from your marketing, they have already said yes initially by talking with you, by scheduling to meet with you. That's a good yes. Okay. If they're asking you questions as you're going through your presentation or going through and talking to you, they are saying yes. I don't like to have people just sitting there stonewall and not say anything. And this is the biggest thing that people suck at. If you're telling a story and people get glossy-eyed, or they look at their phone, their watch, and go away, you are a bad presenter. You're a bad storyteller. It happens all the time. You want to keep things simple. You want to not go into too much detail. Nobody gives a shit about something that was 6 years or 7 years or 5 years ago. Don't waste their time by trying to quote years. Okay? Keep your presentation short and sweet and allow them to ask questions. Okay? If they tell you how much they are looking to invest, it's a yes. Okay? How much are you looking to invest? Oh, I probably got 50 grand or 100 grand. Or I've got 50 grand I'm looking to do something with. Literally people out in like bigger pockets. I got 50 grand, 100 grand, 75 grand. That's a yes if they're looking to invest, and it's worth the conversation. Okay. Now, once they said, yes, I'm interested in doing something, I've got 50 grand to put to work. Great. Then we need again to fill out an investor questionnaire. And investor questionnaire is not meant to be complicated. It's like a 1-page, 2-page thing. Talks about their background, what's their experience, what they do, how much they make. The information. If you've ever gone to a bank or a financial advisor, they're going to ask you some investor questions. What's your experience? What are you looking for? What kind of money to make? What kind of assets you have? It's not difficult at all. We provide an investor questionnaire for some of our students. Okay. You also need them to send you a proof of funds. You got to make sure they've got the money to have it. Like, I'll give you a great example. We're working on a deal right now. Somebody says they're going to buy a condo, and we asked, okay, great. We sent them a loan sale agreement, and we asked for proof of funds. Well, the sale agreement was for 150. We only got a backup proof of funds for 50K. I'm like, that's not the full amount. This is not a valid. No, we need to have the full proof of funds. Okay. Otherwise, we're moving on. And it's not meant to be difficult. All we need to see if somebody's going to fund a deal from you is a bank statement or an investment account statement showing they've got the money in there. Now, the very important thing is that they send that back to you. That's a yes. You get them to fill out the investor question. That's a yes. Also, send a pledge letter. Now, this is nothing complicated. I know pledge letter. Ooh, is this on letterhead? Stuff like no. It's literally a simple email saying, "Hey, Scott, the bank statement shows 200 grand. I'm willing to invest 50. I'm really glad to pledge 50 grand to you for deals." It's something that you use to provide for your buyer or the seller that you're buying the deal from. That, hey, I've got an investor. Here's his proof of funds. Here's his pledge letter saying he's pledging this money to me that shows they can fund it. It's meant there to help you. It's also meant to get them saying yes, 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 yes. Now, if they aren't going to be funding the deal out of their own checking account or their own savings account, whatever it might be, and they want to use their IRA, if they're using IRA funds, you need to get them to open up a self-directed IRA and then sign the funding agreement. Your funding agreement is something you would send them to do. Like, here's the agreement. We're going to do this for 12 months, or you're letting me the money for 6 months on the deal, whatever it might be. But if they're going to use an IRA, you need to get them open an IRA ASAP. Now, it's going to take 3 days for them to trade out of their funds, whatever they're in, and roll that money into an IRA. 3 days plus a couple days of transfer. So you're talking about a week that you need to be working with people to get something transferred over so it's in a spot that you can use. So keep that in mind. But if they're interested, then what you want to do is don't just give them a number to call Quest IRA or call Rocket Dollar or Mid-Atlantic, whatever it might be. You want to get on the phone and get those documents they need and help them fill that out. Help them get their account set up. Some people, some funds will actually give you a discount code towards opening a new account, or they'll waive it if you're a big referrer. They're there to help you out with something. But then ultimately, you have to get them to wire the fund. And I usually like to send the funds to an escrow account, either a separate account, a separate checking account we have that's basically for incoming and outgoing, or we send it to an escrow account with an attorney or at the closing table to hold for when we close in the next couple of days. But those are basically 5 different yeses that you get along the way. Now, people will flake on you. People say they're interested and they will never fill out the information. They'll never fill out the investor questionnaire. They'll never send a pledge letter. Now, if they don't send you those things, you can call them once or twice, but do not bother them, because otherwise, if they haven't sent them to you, they're telling you they don't want the dude. Doesn't mean no. It means not now. Maybe they're not ready to, but then you need to go and move on to other people. If you keep waiting for the one person who says they're going to invest 100 grand, they don't do these simple things, the likelihood they're going to fund is not a good thing. So don't fall in love with your investors and people that say they won't send you the stuff that they need to. That's a bad relationship. It's a bad formula, and it's a formula for failure. If you don't take that, don't ask these things. Okay. Like I said, you got to get them funding, but the idea here, too, if they get funding, hey, your funding sources are your best opportunity for them to be repeat clients for you, repeat customers for you. Now, maybe they don't have the money themselves, but they do have other people that could reach out to. So you want to set up some sort of communication system, whether it's through like a Basecamp group, a Dropbox, or monthly or quarterly communication where they can see the conversations going on. A lot of CRMs have some sort of login system where they can see what it is. Most people won't log into a system. You want to make it easy for them to get. This is why we like Basecamp, because we can upload documents there and it'll notify them that documents. I can go in and post something on there and it notifies them what's going on. It's a great kind of way to communicate. Very simple. Dropbox is very similar too with files, but I don't like the fact that Dropbox doesn't allow you to talk back and forth. Okay. Now, depending on what your agreement is, I don't like doing monthly payments. We like to do quarterly payments, but pay them that on an agreed upon basis. You want to build in also a little bit of window, 7-day window where things, if something comes in late or something's paid in late or something like that, or God forgive, you're sick or the holidays, give you a little bit of room to be a couple days beyond the normal date like you would anything else. Now, like I said, you got deals, you got them rock and rolling, you pay them on time. Hey, present them with other opportunities that they may have funds in other places, or may have friends or family that want to get involved. with what they're doing too. Because trust me, if they're making a 6 to 8% return on their money, they're going to be talking to people, man, we're in a deal, we're making 8% where my money was making 0. Okay. Don't be afraid to send more deals to people. Often have money squirreled away other places. And ask for referrals. Ask for testimonial. Hey, we did this great deal. What did you do? Do you mind providing me a testimonial that I can give to my other investors? Or would you be a referral source that I can have them talk to you? You give me a recommendation. Ask for those things. Not enough people ask for those. And that's a great way to add that to your pitch deck, or add that to your investor database. Like, hey, here's 3 investors that we've done deals with. You can give them a phone call directly to talk about these deals. So that's kind of the basic thing when it comes down to 5-step approach. Once again, we'll go back to that, is basically connect. Let me go back here. I want to go back to, like I said, our 5-step approach is pretty simple. You connect, okay? Connect with them, qualify them, share your pitch or your offering, get them saying yes, and then get them funding. And then you just rinse and repeat as deals come through. As you're marketing, as you're doing deals, it all kind of goes in play. Now, one of the things that we teach is, as you're doing your due diligence, the information you'll find, the photos online, the links, the rent rates, as you're doing your due diligence, that becomes great information in your pitch deck or in qualifying a deal that you can share with your investors. Like, hey, here's what we've done. We pulled the taxes. We pulled the rentometer. We pulled the truly a crime report. We pulled photos online, so that you are helping them with the work and helping them feel and sleep more comfortable. Because here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, people just want to know that they can get their principal back, that they like and can trust you. And that's what it comes down to. Questions, comments, concerns? Now, I promised some of you guys a very special thing for those that are hanging around here. And I wanted to go through this. I came across this last week. I had one of my coaching students in, spent a couple days with us here in Austin, Texas. Pretty excited. He's already got some offers accepted, and he's working through diligence, and he's raising capital. But I wanted to share this. I hadn't seen this and come across this in a while. And I got this very, very basic, but it's effective. I've used to use it in the past a lot. It's a very effective kind of, describing how people can become a private investor with you. Okay. And it's not a difficult presentation, but it's very simple if you've got to talk with people about what being a private bank to you or being a private lender for you. And I just want to go through it with you. I'm going to upload these slides to SlideShare, so you can download this and use this in your own presentation if you like, okay? And it's really pretty basic slides. It talks about being a private mortgage lending, how you can securely earn double-digit interest rate on your money. We talk about what is a private mortgage loan, how does a private mortgage loan work, benefits of a private mortgage loan, and how do I get paid back? Now, what is a private mortgage loan? It's mortgage loan funded by private individuals or retirement funds. Produces a predictable income stream to a private lender. There's a mortgage lien that provides security, protection, and recourse when something happens. You can invest with your IRA, whether it's self-directed IRA, a 401k plan, a profit sharing, or a KEO plan. The income that's returned back to the IRA is either tax deferred or tax free. And you would want to use a third party custodian like Equity Trust or Quest Trust or something like that to set up these accounts for you, so you can invest in real estate or mortgage notes. Your traditional 401k plan from Schwab or your boss isn't going to allow you to invest in anything outside of what that company allows for you to invest in. Now, how does a private mortgage loan? It's a pretty simple thing. We go out and buy defaulted mortgages or buy property with it. We borrow the money from you. You earn a double-digit interest rate. We sell the property off, sell the note off. We pay your money back plus the interest, and we start the process all over again. All right. Now think about this. How does a bank make money? You first go and deposit money in the bank, and you get a low interest rate. It's whether it's in a certificate of disappointment at less than 1%, a money market fund making like 1 or plus, a savings account making nothing. You know what they do? The bank turns around and lends that money out and get the higher interest rate, whether it's personal loans, like credit cards or anything like that, at 7 to 18%, auto loans, interest rates, or mortgage loans somewhere between 1 and 5%. They're making that difference exponentially in what you're doing. So if they're paying you 1% and they're charging an investor or something that they're lending money at 5%, it's not a 4% difference. It's a 400% difference. And that's why banks are the biggest institutions, the biggest buildings out there, because they're leveraging your money to go out and exponentially make greater. Now you can become your own private bank. You make the loan to us, you earn a double-digit interest rate. And whether we're buying the bank loans, buying notes, or buying real estate, purchase price, holding costs, we can wrap that all together, and you're making a double-digit interest rate on your stuff. And how does it work? Well, if we go out and buy a bank note or buy a property, you provide the financing. There are documents that secure your loan, secure your investment. We work with the borrower to either get them back on track, or we foreclose or offer them a deed to take the property back if they're not going to play ball. If they will play ball, we'll sell the property or sell the note off at a higher price, obviously. You get your principal and interest back. We make our profit, and it's a very great symbiotic relationship. You're making a double-digit interest. We're also making good profits because we're doing all the heavy lifting. Let me give you a great example, okay? Let's say we're buying a property that takes us 5 months to fix it up and sell it, okay? And we're going to give you a 10% return on investment on the outstanding loan balance. And you're going to charge us a loan origination fee, which is a small service fee charged by the lender for making a loan, okay? And let's say it takes us 150 days to fix up and resell the house. Now, if the value of the house is about $143,000, the most that we would borrow with everything included would be 70% of the value, the loan to value. So we're borrowing 100 from it. There's a $500 origination fee, and the interest earned at 10% over 5 months is $41.66. So this first loan in 5 months made you $46.66. Now let's say we do it a second time. That's the idea. Velocity of capital, rinse and repeat, right? You make a second loan to us. The same thing goes through there as well. We get it done. We borrow 100. We pay another origination fee plus 10% on your money. Then we pay that off, and then pay that off in 5 months. And we do a third note at the start of 2 months. It's in the process of going through 5 months, but at 2 months, that's 12 months. You earn another $21.67 in interest and a loan origination fee for the remaining 2 months. The total income you earn for the year is $11,499. Now, a certificate of disappointment, 100 grand, you might get 1%, but for shits and giggles, we'll say you're going to get 3%. Okay. Well, over a year, you would make $3,000 on a certificate of deposit, right? Don't raise your hand if you've got one. Okay. It's sad, but usually you've got to tie it up for 5 years to get 1 or 2 or 3%. Okay. Now, if you compare that to what we just did, and you being a private lender to us, taking that same 100 grand, we're basically doing 3 deals in a year. You're making $11,499 if you did it with us, or $3,000 if you do it with the bank. If you decide to go with the bank, you're technically missing out on $8,400 in interest. Okay. Private lending is a superior alternative for getting a better return on your investment, hands down, whether it's money in CDs or the savings account, just sitting there not making anything. We can show you how to make an above average return by being a private lender to us, and where it's in real estate secured at 70% or less. There's documents, there's value there. We use insurance. We've got vendors that are doing the work for us. It's not us doing this. We have the professional team that's helping. We just need help in taking down more deals. And that's where you come in. We're looking for private lenders to help make things happen for us. Now, there are benefits of being a private mortgage. Benefits of private mortgage loans: they provide usually a higher interest rate as an investment. There's title insurance to procure it. There's a steady income stream for you that we're paying out monthly to you. There's also collateral that provides the safety net, like we said, the loan docs. Or if we're buying notes, we're looking at the loan documents and using insurance prepared. It's a short-term loan. No, you're not tying your mortgage up, your money up for 30 years. These are shorter-term deals, 12, 24, 36 months, usually the longest. The principal is secure because we're buying assets at 70% of the current market value or less. All right. Now, how do you get paid back? You can either get monthly or quarterly interest paid as required, as you'd like. Otherwise, we pay you back. The total interest is paid at closing, or we can pay you the entire principal due on the loan paid at end of mortgage term or when the house is sold. So those are kind of the 2 ways that you're getting paid back. Now, we talk about interest payment schedule. We can do monthly, quarterly, or we can do a lump sum when we sell the property off. It's up to you. You know, I know that some folks have retirement accounts, they need to start getting income in to survive. That's great, or live. Others of you guys, you have a retirement account, you can't touch that money until you're, 59 and a half. And some people are like, nah, just pay us back at the very end. And it will vary on the type of deals we do. But, we will disclose that on the front end when we're doing the deal. Hey, here's what we're working on. Here's what we expect. Here's what we see happening with what we're doing. Now, does a private loan sound right for you? Does it sound like something you'd like to learn more about, see the types of deals that we're doing? Does this sound right for you? Something that you'd want to get more information on? And then you shut up. All right. Pretty simple presentation when it comes down to it. Everybody, any questions on that? Any concerns? Like I said, I'll upload that presentation, the whole slides for tonight, into SlideShare for you to be able to tap into, to download and use it. You can tweak it as well, and go from there. Any other questions, comments, concerns, ladies and gentlemen? All right. Well, if there is no other questions, we will let you get back to your Wednesday evening. I want to thank you for joining us here at the US REI Network. We'll have the replay up for you guys by tomorrow. We'll live stream it across, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and then of course we'll get an email out with not only the replay link, but also a link to the presentation tonight as well. So I want to thank you for joining us here on US REI Network. Go out, be safe, everybody. Have a great evening, and we'll see you all at the top, everybody.